Welcome back. A listener's note. This episode contains references to drowning. It may not be appropriate for all audiences. Last time on Silent Waters, we met the Cooper family, whose ordinary morning turned into a desperate race against time. Their 8-year-old son, Jonas, who is autistic and has a profound attraction to water, vanished from their home. Drawn to a nearby lake, a place of mesmerizing calm but deadly risk, Jonas' disappearance ignited a community-wide search. This is Silent Waters, the Jonas Cooper Story. I'm Beverly Nance, and today we follow the aftershocks of that fateful day in Episode 2, The Ripple Effect. Jonas Cooper was not like any other children. Diagnosed with autism at a young age, he found solace in the predictable patterns and rhythms of the world around him. Water, especially, had always been a source of fascination and comfort. Its fluidity, the way the light danced on its surface, the cool embrace of its depths, those sensory experiences provided Jonas with a rare sense of connection to the world. But Jonas' attraction to water was a double-edged sword. His parents, Irene and Hank, understood the dangers it posed. They had always been careful to watch him near water, teaching him to respect its power without instilling fear. They hoped to balance his innate needs with the stark realities of safety. To understand how one morning could unravel so quickly, we must look back at the Cooper family's journey. Irene, a schoolteacher, and Hank, an engineer, had faced their son's diagnosis with a blend of determination and anxiety. They had adapted their lives, their home, making it a fortress against potential dangers, yet a sanctuary of learning and love for Jonas and his older sister Tiffany. Their home in a small community of Ashton was equipped with alarms on doors, fences, and were always locked, the signs everywhere reminding them of the precautions necessary to safeguard their son. Despite these measures, the allure of the lake, just a short distance from their backyard, remained a constant and haunting temptation for Jonas. As the search party combed through the dense undergrowth near the lake's edge, the air was thick with tension and the murmur of anxious voices calling out for Jonas. "Jonas! Jonas, where are you?" Each shout seemed to echo across the water, a poignant reminder of the stakes at hand. The community rallied in a desperate hope, eyes scanning every shadow, every possible hiding place. It was a search dog, a trained Labrador, that finally broke the suspense. With a handler in tow, the dog weaved through the reeds, its nose close to the ground, its tail a gentle wag. Despite the seriousness of its task, the dog paused, sniffed, and then barked, tail wagging more vigorously now, signaling a discovery. The handler called out, a note of urgency in his voice. "Over here!" His call drew the crowd's attention, pulling them towards a small clearing in the water, where the reeds parted to reveal a secluded spot. There, in a natural hollow formed by the roots of an old willow tree, sat Jonas. He was perched on a bed of soft mud, his legs crossed and his hands busy with clumps of damp dirt. He was completely engrossed in the sensory experience of the mud slipping through his fingers, forming patterns that only he understood. Around him lay several small sticks and stones he had collected, arranged in meticulous rows that followed the water's edge. As his mother Irene rushed to the scene, her heart pounding, with a cocktail of dread and hope, she saw her son safe and unharmed, shielded by innocence from the gravity of the situation. Tears sprang into her eyes as relief washed over her. She approached slowly, calling his name softly. "Jonas! Jonas!" Jonas looked up, his face breaking into a serene smile as he recognized his mother. "Look, Mommy," he said, showing her the patterns he had created, his voice calm and content. Irene knelt beside him, pulling him gently into her arms, enveloping him in a hug that conveyed all the love and relief. Hank and Tiffany arrived just behind her, their expressions a mix of relief and exhaustion, their earlier panic settling into a quiet gratitude as they watched the reunion. The search party, now bystanders to this tender family moment, stood back respectfully, their anxious frowns transforming into smiles. The tension of the morning dissolved as the community breathed a collective sigh of relief. Jonas was found. Found not in peril, not in the bottom of a lake, but in a moment of innocent exploration, a poignant reminder of his unique view of the world. Though Jonas appears calm and unharmed, the ordeal of the morning weighs heavy on Irene and Hank's mind. Grateful to have found their son safe, they know the importance of ensuring he truly is okay. With the advice of the search and rescue team, they decide to take Jonas to the hospital for a thorough checkup, a standard precaution after any incident involving a child gone missing. As the rescue team packs up, an ambulance gently pulls up to the clearing. The paramedics, experienced in handling situations with sensitivity, step out and approach Irene and Jonas with comforting professionalism. "We're just going to take Jonas to make sure everything is all right. It's routine after something like this, just to be safe." Irene nods, understanding the necessity. She helps Jonas stand, whispering assurances as they walk toward the ambulance. Jonas, still clutching a small stone from the lake, looks curious but unafraid. The paramedics show him the inside of the ambulance, explaining things gently to keep him engaged and calm. Inside the ambulance, Jonas is fascinated by the equipment and the gentle hum of the machinery. The paramedics check his vitals, making the process seem more like a game to him, to keep him more at ease. Irene sits beside him, holding his hand, her presence a constant reassurance. As the ambulance makes its way to the hospital, the tension begins to ebb. Irene and Hank exchange tired but relieved glances. This precautionary visit to the hospital is just another step in ensuring Jonas's safety. A small ordeal after the morning scare, but necessary. At the hospital, Jonas undergoes a few basic checks, nothing invasive, just enough to ensure he hasn't suffered from any unseen complications or hypothermia or dehydration. The staff are warm and understanding, accustomed to dealing with children who need a gentle touch. After a short while, the doctor comes with good news. Jonas is fine, a bit cold, and should probably get some rest, but otherwise he's healthy. You did everything right in bringing him in. Relief washes over Irene and Hank once more. They thank the doctor and the staff for their kindness and professionalism. With the hospital visit behind them, the Coopers can finally breathe easy. Today has been a testament to their vigilance and the community's support, a reminder of the challenges and the necessary precautions that come with raising a child like Jonas. The drive home from the hospital is quieter than usual. The car winds along the familiar roads, each turn marking the way back to normalcy. After a day that was anything but, Jonas sits in the back seat, a small blanket wrapped around him, a token from the hospital staff who had taken such gentle care of him. Irene drives, her eyes occasionally glancing at the rearview mirror to catch a glimpse of Jonas. Each time their eyes meet, she offers him a reassuring smile. Beside her, Hank sits quietly, his thoughts turbulent despite the calm exterior. The day's events replay in his mind, each what-if scenario he'd constructed fading away with the sight of his son safe and sound. "Jonas, did you like the ride in the ambulance?" "It was noisy, but nice. They let me hold a flashlight." The simplicity of Jonas' experiences, his ability to find something interesting even in the most stressful situations, brings a moment of lightness to Irene and Hank. It's a reminder of his unique perspective, one that often illuminates aspects of the world they might never notice. As they drive, the sun begins to set, casting long shadows across the road. The light transitions slowly, mirroring the family's shift from anxiety to a tentative peace. Today has been a stark reminder of the fragilities and strengths intertwined in their lives. We should have a family movie night tonight. Something fun. That sounds perfect. Jonas, would you like to watch a movie? Jonas, what would you like to watch? Can we watch the one with the talking animals? The suggestion sparks a small discussion about movies, a normal family conversation that feels particularly precious today. In these moments, these small steps back to normalcy that help them knit back the fabric of everyday life after it's been unraveled by fear. As they pull into the driveway, the familiar sight of home is a welcome relief. There's a comfort in the mundane, in the known. The house, with its soft porch light glows warmly against the twilight, promises a refuge from the day's chaos. Stepping out the car, the Coopers feel the solid ground beneath their feet, a firm reminder that they've weathered another storm today. Tonight, they'll gather in front of the TV a little closer, a little more grateful from the presence of each other. In the quiet of their home, Irene prepares a bath for Jonas, the warm water rippling gently under the soft bathroom lights. Jonas, still wrapped in a small hospital blanket, watches as his mother tests the water, her movements deliberate, a practiced dance of care and caution. As Jonas plays quietly with a toy boat, his laughter echoing softly over the tile, Irene watches him, her heart swelling with a mixture of relief and unspoken fears. Each giggle from Jonas tugs at a thread of worry she's been weaving throughout the day. Dinner follows the bath, a simple meal that Irene prepares while Jonas sits at the kitchen table coloring. The normalcy of the task, the slicing of the vegetables, the stirring of the pot, is a stark contrast to the storm of emotions swirling within her. As she sets the plate down in front of Jonas, her hands tremble slightly, the day's mask of composure beginning to crack. With Jonas safely tucked into his chair, Irene tries to hold back tears that have been threatening to fall all evening. She turns away, a silent sob catching in her throat. She blames herself, irrational though she knows it is, for the day's events, for the oversight, for the what-ifs that might have ended differently. How could I let this happen? But as she stands there, a silent figure, amidst the soft sounds of home winding down, Hank comes up behind her, wraps his arms around her, a firm, reassuring presence. He doesn't need to hear her thoughts, to know her turmoil. The weight of shared fear had hung heavy on his shoulders, too. It's not your fault, Irene. We both know how quickly things can happen. We did everything right as soon as we knew. He's safe. That's what matters. Hank's words are a balm, slowly seeping through the cracks of Irene's guilt. She allows herself to lean back into his embrace, letting some tears come, but this time with a hint of catharsis. Together in the kitchen's soft glow, they stand, a testament to the resilience and unity that parenthood, especially under such circumstances, demands. Tonight, the Cooper family finds solace in their togetherness, in the shared strength that had carried them through the day. As we leave them in the quiet of the night, we're reminded of the vulnerabilities and the fierce love that binds families together, come what may. The story of Jonas Cooper ends on a note of relief and renewed sense of vigilance. He was one of the fortunate ones, found safe after a harrowing day that could have ended much differently. But as we exhale in relief with the Cooper family, we must also remember the many stories like Jonas's that didn't have such a happy ending. Across the country, families with children on the autism spectrum face similar fears every day. The attraction to water that many autistic children experience can be both a sensory blessing and a profound risk. Statistics paint a troubling picture. Drowning is the leading cause of death for children with autism due to their propensity to elope to bodies of water. Why is this attraction so strong? Well, water fascinates many autistic individuals because of its unique sensory properties. The way it moves, feels, the sounds can be deeply calming, to sensory-seeking behaviors. Yet, this same satisfaction obscures the inherent dangers, especially for those who may not understand or appreciate the risk of drowning. Awareness is crucial. Families, communities, and caregivers must be vigilant. They must create a safe environment and teach water safety skills rigorously. Simple measures can make a difference. Secure locking mechanisms, alarms on doors, and GPS tracking devices are just the beginning. Educational programs tailored to children with autism can teach them not only to swim, but to recognize dangerous situations. But beyond physical and educational measures, we need a cultural shift, a shift towards greater understanding and support, where communities actively work to protect their most vulnerable, where every body of water, a pool, a lake, or a beach is monitored with this in mind. As we close this episode, let's carry forward the lessons learned from Jonas' story. Let's pledge to not only guard our children against the risk, but also to embrace their differences and enable them to explore the world safely. This isn't just a task for parents of autistic children. It's a community responsibility, a societal duty. Please note that this episode features reenactments and dramatized details. While in most cases the exact verbatim dialogue may not be known, all dramatizations are grounded in research. To respect the privacy and confidentiality of individuals involved, names and some identifying details have been changed. Join us next time on Silent Waters as we explore how different communities are taking innovative steps to ensure the safety of all children. We'll dive into stories of tragedy and triumph, of fear and hope, and of the unyielding spirit of families and caregivers who navigate these waters every day. I'm Beverly Nance, reminding you that awareness saves lives, and together we can make a world of difference. Till next time, take care. As we end this episode of the story Silent Waters, the Jonas Cooper Story, we are reminded of the emotional roller coaster that caregivers and their families ride every day. It's a journey that demands much, often leaving little time for self-care. That's why we have created the Take Care Time Respite Box. Each bi-monthly box is carefully curated with items designed to soothe, uplift, and rejuvenate. Whether it's a calming tea blend, a soothing aromatherapy oil, or comforting novel, or luxurious bath salts, every item is chosen to help you recharge and find a moment of peace in a busy life. Take Care Time understands the pressures of caregiving. We believe that taking care of yourself isn't just a luxury, it's an essential part of being able to provide care for others. Our respite box is here to remind you that taking a moment for yourself is not only okay, it's necessary. Subscribe today at takecaretime.com and give yourself the gift of self-care, because when you're refreshed, you're ready to face whatever challenges come next. Take Care Time Box, because everyone deserves a moment to breathe.